think their time and investment in our community is certainly demonstrated by their presence here, and we certainly appreciate their participation as well. Without more at this time, I'm going to turn the mic over to Wyatt Howell, who will offer our invocation.
Let us pray. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to assemble in this hall tonight. We ask that you bless each candidate and bless their families. We thank you for the service that they're offering to the city. We ask that you bless each family that's represented here and that you bless this food and nourishment of our lives. In Christ's name.
At this time, I'll invite Barry Mixon to come forward and lead us in our pledge. Y'all will stand with me.
Attention. Salute. Pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Barry. As I mentioned earlier, we wouldn't be here tonight if it weren't for the willingness of these people at the head table to demonstrate their commitment to our community by running for office. And I want to begin tonight the way we're going to end tonight, and that is by everyone here offering up a round of applause for all of these folks across the head table. Also, would be remiss not to express the Civitan's gratitude for Dolly's and all their fine food and service offered here tonight. There are a number of Civitans throughout the crowd. I'll ask them to all stand at this time, please. All the Civitans. It's our hope that you have an enjoyable evening and a pleasant evening. If there's anything that any of us can do to make your evening more comfortable, please don't hesitate to call on us. I know you're here to hear about the candidates, but I think it would be error on my part not to give you a quick plug for our club with such a great audience here tonight. One of the things that I wanted to do was tell you about a few of the projects that we engage in each year. We sponsor the Breakfast with Santa. We also sponsor 2 scholarships at Hamilton High School. We are sponsors of Christmas for Kids, essay contest at the Hamilton schools, the Marion County Challenge, the Christian Center of Concern, Habitat for Humanity, Domestic Violence Task Force, Historical Society Safe Place, Downtown Hamilton Association, as well as the Boys and Girls State Program, sponsoring students from here in Hamilton for each of those programs. We meet the first and third Tuesday of each month here at Dolly's at noon. And there's 3 ways that I would like for you to consider supporting our organization in the coming days. Number 1, we have a rib sale coming up, barbecue rib sale coming up Labor Day weekend. We'll be selling those beginning the first Tuesday of August, and we appreciate very much your supporting the club through the purchase of some of those tickets. A second alternative would be to make a donation to the club. As you can tell, we're not a for-profit. We are simply working for the good of the community. And if you find the projects that I've mentioned worthy or find our cause worthwhile, certainly we would appreciate your consideration in that regard. And third and finally, if you're interested in membership, we would love to talk with you about that and invite you to join us for lunch any first or third Tuesday here at Dolly's. Enough for that plug. Let me at this time turn our attention to the format we're going to follow tonight for our forum. We're going to begin by allowing each of the candidates to introduce themselves. I'm going to call their names and by position, mayor, and then each place of the candidates, and allow them 1 minute to provide you with a brief introduction of themselves and their background. At that time, we'll move forward to questions, and we'll have a number of questions, all of which the candidates have been provided, that we'll draw from a hat, and then we'll draw at random the sequence that the candidates are going to answer those questions so that there's no advantage in that regard either. Wyatt's going to help me with that, and I wanted to say this, our intention tonight is to create an atmosphere that allows the candidates to provide the community with insight on their positions. And I hope this format will allow for that communication. I'll begin tonight by asking each of the mayoral candidates, and again, their answers, and I did make this clear, your answers will be limited to 1 minute each on each of the questions as well. We do this simply in an effort to get as many questions and as many candidates as is possible for you to hear from. We will not ask any questions after 6:40. Any question that's on the table will be answered by all of the candidates, but we will not ask any additional questions beyond 6:40. Having said all of that, let's get started by the introduction of each of our mayoral candidates. First, Mr. McDavid Franks.
Good evening. It's good to be here tonight. My name is McDavid Franks. I have been your council person for the last 2 terms. I'm a Navy veteran. I also belong to the Lions Club, and I'm a Mason. I belong to the Shriners also. And I've worked for the telephone company for 35 years. Do I have a question?
No, sir. We'll answer. Thank you very kindly.
Okay.
Yes, sir. At this time, Chris Hamrick.
Hey, thank you for having me. My name is Chris Hamrick. I was born here in Hamilton back in 1953, one of the first babies born here at Mr. Hill Hospital, and I love Hamilton. It's my home. I was in business here with a restaurant, Chris's Catfish, for about 8 years. And, I work at Russell Hospital right now. I would love to bring some jobs here in Hamilton. We'll talk about that later, but I'm married. Former Debbie and I have one daughter, Erica, and 2 grandsons, Will and Nick. And I served on the Hamilton City Council from 1984 to 88 when we built the walking track and the library and did some other things at the rec center. And we were, of course, proud of working with our Mayor E.T. Simpson, our council. But thank y'all for letting me come here.
My name is Ronnie Harper. Most of you know me. I was your ex-mayor and hope to be next mayor. I grew up in Walker County, Alabama. I moved over here came over here and built a factory in 1969 on the airport roads called Fairway Homes. So that brought me to Hamilton. And since then, I have owned 2 mobile home plants and been the president of 4 more, on numerous other businesses, and feel like I'm fully qualified to be your mayor. Thank you.
Mr. Sanders.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the Kiwanis and the Chamber of Commerce for putting this on. And I'm Scotty Sanderson. I've been on the council for 8 years. I'm married to the former Leslie McCarley. We have 2 kids, Peyton, age 9, and Gracie will be 6 next month. I'm 41 years old. I graduated from Hamilton, lived here all my life, graduated in 1990. I'm a 94 graduate at the University of Alabama, and just like the opportunity to serve you and the city of Hamilton.
Hello, my name is Wade Williams, and I'm a candidate for mayor. I want to tell you I served city council from 1992 to 2004. I feel like I'm fully qualified to be your mayor. I'm married to former Vicki Nichols for 29 years. We just celebrated Monday our 29th anniversary. I have 2 children, Jessica and Jordan. That's my 2 children. And I have a passion for Hamilton. I love it. I want you to know, if you're going to let me be your mayor, I'll be the hardest working mayor you've ever seen. I'll do diligence. I'll work hard. I'll serve you with honor. Just give me that opportunity. Thank you.
Mr. Sanderson raised a good point. Now, I was remiss to not thank the Chamber of Commerce, Marla Mentor, and their board for all of their support in helping with this event. We certainly appreciate all of their help. Let's turn now to place 1. Mr. Froelich.
My name is Steve Froelich, and I'm married to Betty Wigington, used to be Betty Wigington, and we have celebrated our 39th year of marriage, and we have lived in and around Hamilton for 40 years. So not a newcomer here. And I appreciate the invitation to be here tonight, and I look forward to having the opportunity to serve you as City Council, place number 1.
Mr. Cannon?
First of all, let me go ahead and thank the Kiwanis Club and the Seventh Hands for putting this forum on for all of us. My name is Brandon Canner, and I'm a candidate for Hamilton City Council, place number 2. I've been married for the past 19 years to the former Pound Mower. We have 2 children, Macy, who graduated from Hamilton High School this past year, and also Clark, who will be in the 10th grade in the upcoming school year. For the past 16 years, I've been in the management profession of managing nurses and managed different healthcare facilities from Birmingham North for the state prison system. I have a lot of expertise in management, development policies and procedures, program management, personnel development, etc. I look forward, if elected, to being your voice for place number 2 on the City Council. Thank you.
Mr. Canner for place 2, and also Ms. Frances Knight for place 2.
Good evening. It's good to be with you. All of you know I've been here all my life, well, 40 years. And we're talking about how many years that they've been married. I got them all at 53. That's something else. Anyway, thank you to the Chamber, to the Seventh Hands. This is an honor to be here. I feel like that it's our obligation as citizens of Hamilton to give back. This community has been good to our family, and I don't have any agenda except that I want to work for you. I will serve you with integrity, honesty, and I will be available to you whenever. I'm just plain old me, and I will be the same every time that you see me. And I appreciate this opportunity, and just go exercise your right to vote. On August 28th, and I am place number 2. And I have 3 children, Ken, Susan, and Mike. Most all of you know that. So, but anyway, thank you for coming. Thank you for your interest in all of us.
Thank you, ma'am. Turning now to place 3, Samuel Bentley.
Hello, I'm Samuel Bentley. I am the son of Judge John Bentley and Judy Bentley, and I hope that you don't hold that against me. No, I love my mom and my dad. I'm married to, whenever they were saying the former, I was like, that kind of sounds like their past, but you know, the former Lauren Wheaton, but she's still here with us. We have 4 children. We just had our 4th last week, so I have a little bitty baby. There's been some people who have asked me if I've been getting any sleep, and I said, well, I have. I don't know about Lauren, but anyways, I'm a graduate of Hamilton High School. I went to Belleville for 2 years. I graduated from UNA with a history degree and a minor in philosophy and religion. I've been back in Hamilton since 2006, where I serve as the current CFO at the Ramp. So I appreciate your votes, and I have a passion and a love for this city and want to see it become everything that it was destined and created to be.
Thank you, Samuel. Also for place 3, Josh Weatherly.
My name is Josh Weatherly. I'm seeking position number 3. I'm married to Karen Weatherly, who teaches here at Hamilton Elementary School. I currently teach at Ewan Elementary School, and I've been in education. This will be my 10th year. I hold 2 degrees from UNA, elementary ed degree, and a master's in educational administration. And I would appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Turning now to place 4, WR Bill Brown.
I'm Bill Brown. I'm born and raised in Hamilton. Worked out of Hamilton for a while as a state trooper. Retired from the state of Alabama. Running for place 4, City Council. Appreciate anything you people like to bring up before me, before or after the election. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Also in place 4, Frank Calvert.
I'd like to thank everybody for showing up tonight. I'm running for place 4. My name is Frank Calvert. My mother and dad is Tom and Betty Calvert. I've lived in Hamilton for 41 years. I'm a 89 Hamilton High, did not graduate. Went back to Bethel, been back to Bethel twice. I would like to do several things with Hamilton that I don't think we've done yet. And it's a work in progress, and I realize that. But I married Rebecca Calvert. A lot of people know her by her working for Sandy and Gloria Salmon. I thank everybody coming tonight, and the Juana and Jill Cox, they was here earlier today when I came by. I wanted to thank them, the Juanas, and I hope I didn't leave nobody out.
Thank you, Mr. Calvert. Also for place 4, Tim Hall.
My name is Tim Hawkins. I'm running for City Council place number 4. I'm married to former Juana Big. We have $1 Lee Amber who lives in Birmingham, CPA and auditor for a bank. I want to thank y'all for inviting us down. I'm 53 years old. I'm going to say that pretty quick. For your days, that's going to change. I served one term under the late Mayor E.T. Sims, 1992. Served again under Mayor Logan. And I really love this town, and I want to get back in and help bring jobs in, and at the same time help keep jobs that we have here. A lot of times everybody wants to bring jobs in, but we're not really gaining any ground if we lose jobs. And unfortunately, like many places, we've lost jobs the last 8 years. And thank you again. Appreciate your vote.
Finally, our 4th candidate for place 4, Paul Stidham.
I'm Paul Stidham. I'm running place number 4, and been married to my wife Becky for 48 years. I worked at 3M in Houston for 38 years, retired in 2001, and have 2 sons.
Thank you, Mr. Stidham. Turning now to place 5, Ms. Jane May.
My name is Jane May, and I'm running for place number 5. I'm married to Nanny May. We've been married, Francis, I thought that I had to be, but 48 years. We married at First Baptist Church 48 years ago, and we've attended there ever since. We have 2 children. We have Daniel, our son. He and his wife Rosalind live in Atlanta. And then our daughter, Dia. Dia and her husband, Joseph Webster, live in Fulton, Mississippi. We have 2 wonderful granddaughters, Mariah and Olivia, and of course they're the bosses. Danny works at First Baptist Church in Hamilton. He's the director of our TV and radio. I worked 37 years in banking. I've worked in about every area of banking. Before I retired, I was in commercial banking. I dealt with servicing commercial loans and deposits. I serviced county and city government accounts. I enjoyed all my life what I did. I only make one promise to the city of Hamilton if I am elected, and that promise is that I'll give you 110%. I don't promise anything I can't keep, because I wouldn't want you to think badly of me if I couldn't do that. So I thank you very much, and I thank the City of Tams, and I thank the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. May. Finally, Van Gary Scott.
Well, I got to let my legs sit here and rest for a minute. Try to get up. I'm from Hamilton. I graduated in 1998. My wife is Kyla Scott. I've only been married 4 years, so I'm way down the telephone. My mother is Kathy Scott, and she's here. And while I had the opportunity, she's one of the greatest women you'll ever meet. I hope to kind of go in her footsteps as the way I treat people. I've got a big vision. All I want to do, I want to see Hamilton prosper. I want it to have as much opportunity as it can have, just to grow. I want my little girl, if she has the opportunity to come back one day, to make that decision. And I work for Coca-Cola. I'm a senior salesman there. So I cover 5 counties, and I have a lot of ties to our area. and I feel like that will help me in the long run. Thank you.
Have I inadvertently overlooked anyone?
Mr. Chief?
Yes, sir.
He asked me if I would, sir. His mother is having surgery over in Huntsville, Alabama. And he asked me to tell the people that.
Thank you, Mr. Harper. Okay, at this time, we'll change the format just a little bit. Wyatt is going to manage the clock, as it were, and in that regard, I think as the city's judge, you know, we can count on the candidates, you know, adhering to his right. He's got a trusty bell over here. Wyatt, you want to try that out and see? Yeah, that's the sure sign, candidates. It's not to get too blunt with it, but you'll know your answer's complete at that time. The way we're going to proceed at this, with this, we're going to draw the questions. The candidates, again, have all been provided with 7 questions, and we're going to draw them out first, and then Wyatt will draw the names of the candidates who are here, and the sequence of their answer will be determined by, you know, how they come out. We'll put all the names back in after the first question, draw them out again. And again, the design of this format is simply to not allow any advantages. Some of the candidates may hear an idea that they, you know, sound pretty good. Maybe something they want to add to the mix. Let's find the first question. I did a remarkable job putting that together. Do you favor zoning? Do you favor zoning? Wyatt, who's first out of the box on this question?
Steve Frolick.
I kind of thought I was going to get that question. Because that's one question that everybody has asked me that I've spoke to. In my opinion, yes, I do favor zoning to an extent. I think that we have some good zoning laws, and I think we have some that need tweaked a little bit. Some of our zoning that we have needs to be strictly enforced, and some of it that we have needs to be looked at. In a city the size of Hamilton, and we are a city, you have to have rules and regulations, and that includes zoning.
Thank you, Mr. Froelich. And for the candidate's convenience, Wyatt is going to, he's got a sign there that says 15 seconds, and maybe that'll give you some insight on winding down. And Mr. Froelich, I'm sorry I didn't share that. Wyatt, who's next? It's May. We can at least let her get started, Wyatt.
I can't sleep my
I favor zoning. I'm actually on the Hamilton Planning and Zoning Board. My many years in banking taught me a lot about real estate because I made real estate loans for years. One of the things that you always have to do is to get an evaluation on real estate before you make a loan. In order to do that, I work with most all of the appraisers in this whole area, Troy Moore for one. At one point, South Trust, now Wells Fargo, asked me to do appraisal review, so I took appraisal classes. I say all that to say this. There are a lot of outside factors that affect your property negatively. Your neighborhood, one of the sections on an appraisal form is about your neighborhood. What are the land uses in your neighborhood? All those things affect your property negatively sometimes. Zoning is all about protecting your investment, your savings. Am I done?
Thank you. Wyatt?
Wade Williams.
Mr. Williams.
Yes, I am in favor of zoning. I think it'd be something that's really good to protect our property owners in our neighborhoods that we have. Let's say, for instance, if the city of Hamilton does go with, we're going to have zoning to protect a lot of the different areas of our city. If we don't have it, we're going to be in a mess. But yes, I do favor zoning. I would like to look at what's been passed in the last few years just to see if there's something that we might can revise. because there may be something that can be tweaked, so that it wouldn't be a hardship on our neighborhoods and our families. But yes, I think zoning can be a good thing. Just use good common sense. That's what I want to do, is just use good common sense, because that can get you a long way doing that way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Thank you, Scott. Mr. Scott?
Yes, I do. I favor zoning. The way I look at it is if I was an investor or say about the homeowner and somebody decided to put, I'm not going to give it over, but somebody decided to put something out, put it like mobile home lot is coming into your neighborhood. Nothing against that, but it will depreciate the value of your home. It's kind of a no-win situation. Don't really have any pluses, I guess is what I'm saying. You're going to make people mad either way, but I do favor it.
Thank you.
Francis Knight.
Ms. Knight?
I currently am serving by appointment in place number 2 on the city council, and we deal with this a lot. As when you first start with something, you must have trial and error. You have to tweak it. You have to bring new ideas. It's kind of trial and error. But yes, absolutely. And as all of these have already said, it is about protection. And it is about protecting your property. And absolutely, and that's what I'm working, one of the things I'm working for is to protect each of you. Thank you, ma'am.
Scotty Sanders.
Mr. Sanders?
Yes, I do favor zoning, and I'm on the city council now that deals with the zoning. And the business I'm in, it can affect my business. That's one reason I don't vote on mobile home issues, which over the last 2 or 3 years since we've had zoning, that's mainly what we have dealt with is mobile home issues. But Wade said it well, and he stole my line away. Thanks a lot. But you got to use a little common sense on it too. And we've tweaked a couple of things, and we've loosened some regulations on it. But yes, in my term, I do favor zoning.
Ray Harper.
Mr. Harper?
Thank you. I favor zoning to some extent, and some extent of it, and I don't know the details of it because I haven't seen it, but there's some parts of it. There's a lot of unhappy people out here, and these people must not have been talking to the same ones I have. But there's some very unhappy people in Hamilton, Alabama, and there's some people that's been discriminated against, and mobile home people. And I favor zoning, and that zoning was basically taken care of. You couldn't put a mobile home in Sanderson subdivision, you couldn't put one in Ballard, you couldn't put one in Oak Hill, you couldn't put one in Thompson, you couldn't put one in Hope, you couldn't put one in any subdivision in town. So that was basically taken care of, and I do favor zoning, but I think it needs some tweaking for some of the people that don't feel the same way that others do. Okay?
McDavid Franks.
Yes, I favor zoning. I voted on it whenever I was on the council, whenever it first come in. There are things that you have a home that do depreciate your value, or if somebody moves in a trailer, an old trailer, and there's a lot of that goes on, and they rent them out, and if you live in a $50,000 home, and they move that trailer in there, your property just evaluated about $10,000. Now, we've already had some folks who have used zoning for that very purpose, and I'm in favor of zoning.
Samuel Benton.
I am in favor of zoning because I'm in favor of property protection. And I'm also in favor of our properties, both residential and commercial, increase, the values of them to increase. However, I do believe that there are some flaws in our current zoning ordinance, which it is available. For those who don't know, it is available on the city's website. You can read it in full, all 60-something pages of it, which I attempted and failed. But anyways,
There are some flaws, and again, what Ms. Knight said over there, that it's a work in progress. We do favor it, but like I said, we will tweak it as we go.
W.R. Bill Bryant.
Yes, I agree with the zoning aspect of seeing that the town stays in a constructive position as far as laying homes out in a proper place. I've worked in several cities, smaller cities that does have zoning, and the people had a say in the zoning law. It wasn't just the city council and the mayor. Where they did have a say in it, it went over real good. I think we should have zoning, but in certain cases, I think that would be the proper thing to do to get the public opinion on it.
Mr. Hall?
Yes, I'm for zoning to a certain extent also. It's kind of hard when your city limits touches you, it goes 8 or 10 miles out. It's got to be tweaked. The way it is, and I'm like Samuel, I didn't get through all of it, reading it up also. But I do agree with it to a certain extent. But say you have an elderly parent that you're going to have to take care of. You could build you a little apartment out close to your house and take care of that parent. Keep having to put them in a nursing home or what have you. I think we got to use a little common sense when it comes to zoning. Thank you.
Chris Hammer?
Thank you. I do agree with most of the other folks here tonight. I do agree we need some form of zoning, mainly to keep our residential areas residential, protect them so our kids running through the streets and playing and what have you will be protected. We won't have a business. We did have a business that located in one of our residential areas. I don't know how many years ago, and I'm not blaming anybody, at the end of Baby Street. How it got there, I don't know. How he was able to start it, and I'm not downgrading anybody or anything, but I'm in favor of keeping residential areas residential and keeping our business areas that way too, and also agree the use of common sense. We're in a small town, we're mostly country folks around here, but we want to try to do things professionally, so anyway, that's where I was thinking. Thank you.
Paul Stidham. Mr. Tippett.
I favor zoning. I know we've changed a bunch of things since we started this, and there may be a few more that need change, but if this wet dry, you've got to have zoning to regulate it, and I would be in favor of zoning.
Mr. County.
Thank you. I am in favor of zoning also, but I think the current zoning ordinance needs to be looked at, reviewed, and maybe some parts of that tweaked. One thing that I'm big on is keeping the citizens of Hamilton informed every step of the way. I think that's huge. It's very important to keep every citizen within the city informed of every change that we'll make or we're thinking about making, etc. One proposal that I might look at making is if you want to move something or have something built on property beside you, that it's got to be of equal or greater value. Thank you.
Frank Calvert.
Mr. Calvert. Yes, I'm for zoning until it separates mobile homes from houses. I told a person yesterday, if if you take your mobile home and you got a $500,000 house sitting beside of it, and the $500,000 house burns down to the ground, and they go to rebuild the house, and the person lives in a double wide beside of them says, well, hold on, that's gonna make my double wide look bad. You know, it's gonna make, you know, that's their house, that's the best they can do. I'm for zoning, if it does not, put a division line in between mobile homes, which help build this town, and houses. And I have had my property devalued by mobile homes coming in beside of me. So it's a tough question.
Josh Weatherly.
Mr. Weatherly?
To echo all these guys up here, I'm in favor of zoning, particularly, you know, when we come to the wet dry thing. If that were to pass, I have a 19-month-old child, I can't say that I'd be real crazy about, you know, someplace selling alcohol near my home or any other business that, you know, that may pop up. So I too am in favor of zoning.
I hope we didn't skip anybody.
Everyone get an opportunity to respond to the zoning question? Great, thank you. Yeah, let's see about the next question. What would you change about the city of Hamilton? What would you change about the city of Hamilton?
Chris Hammer.
Mr. Hammer.
Thank you. Well, I would have more of an open door policy to the citizens of Hamilton that could come by, and if I was mayor, elected mayor in Hamilton, and I would want everybody in the town to be anybody, if you made $100 a week or if you made $100,000 a year, whatever, could come by and sit down and talk about an issue. And I would also have told people I had been talking to, I would like to have town hall meetings. A city council meeting is not really the place for residents of Hamilton to express their concerns or what have you, because that is mostly for town business. But I would be in favor of that, and I've told people that I would be glad to sit there till 3 o'clock in the morning if you want to talk about an issue, and we'll grind it out and see if we can't come to some solutions on that. But again, I want the people of Hamilton to know that I will be available.
David Franks.
Mr. Franks?
I'll give all this a bunch of thoughts, so I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it. What would you change about the city of Hamilton? I would like for all the property owners to keep their houses, yards clean, mowed, so that whenever we have visitors come into this town that may be looking to put a plant here, that it'll look like they might want to come and live here. The Hamilton Middle School, or there between the Hamilton Middle School and the high school, they're talking about redoing that thing and putting a plaza in there and put a wrought iron fence around, all the way around the playground there where that old iron fence is now. Well, we've got a parking park there. I'd like to see I'd like to see a gazebo put there where our water fountain is there, and maybe do something with that sign that is, you have to use, put it up there by hand, put us a digital sign up there so that it'll make the town look better.
Tim Hall.
Mr. Hall?
I've changed. I want to see open meetings, public be involved, all city council be public, work sessions, great, but need to have a little debate instead of coming out saying so-and-so ag ordinance passed. Let the people know you're discussing the thing before you pass it. And on the codes I'd look at tweaking some of those also. We'll probably get into that question a little bit later on.
Have y'all met Brown?
Mr. Brown?
Yes, the changing of things to get people, industry and stuff, to come in and have, be up to the mayor and the council. I couldn't rightly say that I could change anything by myself. I'd have to work with the mayor and the council, and go from there. And this, there is a number of things that should be changed. I think it would have to be decided by the mayor and the city council. Thank you.
Hey, Harper.
Mr. Harper?
Most of the things that I would like to see change in Hamilton is being addressed with the zoning and the downtown revitalization. But I'm out there every day and I've talked to hundreds of people. There's a lot of anger and there's a lot of division in Hamilton, and I would like to see that come back together and make us more of one unity. That's one thing we need. We have become divided in all aspects, and we need to come back together. We can do that, all of us together, accomplish a lot of things.
Scotty Sanderson.
Mr. Sanderson?
This is the one question when we got the list that I looked at the longest, because you can go in a lot of different directions with this question. But I've lived here all my life, and there's not a lot I want to change about Hamilton. And my mayoral opponents keep bringing up the things that I want to bring up, but Ray just brought up, we're too fractured in Hamilton. We have too many people pulling in different directions. We need to come together as a community and work together for one common goal, and I think that common goal is bringing jobs.
Brandon Canal.
Mr. Canal?
I totally agree with Scotty and Mr. Harper here, but one thing I think I would change is Hamilton's image to a certain few folks, well, not a certain few folks, but, like you said, we're divided. I'd like to change Hamilton's image, and I ask you, first of all, to put leaders on these city council seats and in this mayor's position. That's a good start. We got a lot of things to be positive about here. The downtown revitalization and the presentation that Mr. Braywell Jackson gave other night at the city council meeting. Listen, if I don't get you excited about Hamilton, Alabama, I don't know what will. And I just look forward to trying to change that image and moving forward with progress and trying to change the image in Hamilton, Alabama. Thank you.
Paul Stidham.
Mr. Stidham?
I think we need cleaning up downtown, this revitalization that we're doing, and put businesses in these vacant buildings down there, and just clean it up. I know we see a lot of signs on power poles that stay there for a while. I think we need to get all them on.
You're also putting businesses out of Hamilton.
Frank Calvin.
Mr. Calvin?
I don't know what he was talking about, but what I would change about Hamilton is, I agree with what Tim brought up about people knowing what's going on in the meetings and stuff like that. I agree with that too. But we need to keep the negative out of Birmingham. I mean, there's positive things about Hamilton, and it seems like we only get Channel 6 or 3340 up here when something bad happens. When people see that across this state, that they don't want to come up to Hamilton and get involved in somebody that's having problems. And I heard the Korean saying here a while back, I was talking to a mayor of a town close by, and he said that his interpreter, he overheard him say that the reason they didn't pick Chattanooga was because he don't like towns that has conflict. And just be more positive about that.
May.
Ms. May?
this question too, I spent more time thinking about than any of the rest of them. And I think a lot of the points have been made, but Hamilton needs a really positive attitude. We need to be really high on Hamilton. If you stop to think about it, what other small town in this area has what we have? We need to promote Hamilton that way. We have an airport, a good airport. We have a hospital next to a big medical center. We're sitting next door to the corridor out here. We've got a college in town. We've got so many positive things that we need to be dwelling on. Have you ever heard anything come out of a negative attitude but more negative attitudes? We need to be positive. That's contagious. It's like a virus. If we're positive, the people around us are going to be positive. That when people come to look at our city and our town to bring businesses to us, our companies, they're going to look at us and say, hey, there's something there that we might like to be a part of. So a positive attitude is everything. We can criticize, but that doesn't accomplish anything. Let's get on board together and do something together for our city. Thank you.
Wade Williams. Mr. Williams?
I'm like everybody else, when you get to this question, I give this a lot of thought. And I may say some things that's going to be repeated, but in my opinion, we need to change the perception of Hamilton, Alabama. When we get excited about Hamilton, like we do, Hamilton Aggies or Alabama or Auburn, you're going to see things change. And we're going to do that by working together. That's the only way we can do it. If I get to be your mayor, I can't do it by myself, and I don't plan to. I plan to include everybody around me that wants a positive image of Hamilton. When they see that, things will happen. When you see the downtown revitalization started and completed, that's going to be a perception. When people come to Hamilton, they're going to see that we care about our community. I'm not so sure that they see that all the time, because when they come in, they may see something that maybe the streets need to be cleaned, maybe the right-of-ways need to be mowed, maybe our buildings need to be repaired. But I'm telling you, if we work together, there's nothing we can't accomplish by doing it together. And that'll bring jobs. I mean, that perception is all it is. It's going to take work, but we can do it. I can promise you that.
Steve Froh.
Mr. Froh?
Education is the only thing that's going to change Hamilton. In my opinion, for Hamilton to be an example, it's going to take everybody in Hamilton working together, and everybody's talking about the meetings at City Hall and everything. It's my understanding these meetings are open meetings anyway. And I think people need to be educated about what is in Hamilton, what is available to them, and you can go to a city council meeting anytime you want to. So it's not a closed meeting, and nobody's trying to keep anything down there secret from somebody. And I think every citizen of Hamilton needs to be educated on what is available. And the only way to be an example, and we can be it.
Okay, Gary Scott.
Mr. Scott?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't change a whole lot. I love the city of Hamilton. That's why I chose to come back. My sister chose to come back here. I think all y'all feel that way. I think it's just like we've got a lot of people tugging in different directions. And when we get some new leadership in here and some people that are going to give it 100%, that are in it for the right reasons, I feel like you'll see a lot of this come together, and it'll get a lot closer. I feel like we've got a ton of interstate access out there that we need to utilize. I'm in drink sales, so I know what kind of numbers we sell to the city of Hamilton, through Winfield. I cover all this area, and you would be amazed at how many numbers we are up this year in a down economy. Partly because of the tornado, maybe we're getting some Hackenberg people. We need to take advantage of this while we have it.
Mr. Bentley?
One of the things that I want to see for the city of Hamilton is that the vision and the goals and the strategy are to be clearly defined. You know, we've talked a lot about unity, The city as is very, in my opinion, very disfragmented. But I believe that the solution, yeah, I mean, it's good to say that what we all need to do is we all need to come together, but people rally around a strong leader with a clear vision. So what I want to see for the city of Hamilton is to have a very clear vision, some strategy, some very clear and defined goals. Apart from that, what else, the other thing that I want to see for the city of Hamilton is, because it does have such awesome cultural and historical assets, is that for those assets to be marketed. You know, I did some research the other day. How many of you have ever seen the Sea Rock City signs? Most everybody has, because there were 900 of them between New Mexico and Maine. They marketed a natural landscape. And so that's what I want to see for this city. I want to market and sell the assets of the city of Hamilton.
Ms. Knight?
We're sitting here at a crossroads. And if you don't think this election is important, if you want to be a part of it, vote, express your opinions. We have the infrastructure in place and our industrial parks. And I'm not so sure, I'm going to take a little bit different attitude here. I'm not so sure that we're as divided as some of you say we are. I work with the city council, I work with the business part of it every day. I'm telling you, if you don't have the time to spend at the city hall, when I served 15 years ago, and John Bentley can attest to this, how hard we worked back then, and so can Tam and Wade. How hard we worked to keep this hospital here. We need to change our mindset, like Jane and so many of them have said. We need to move forward. It can't always be the way it's always been. There is not a thing in the world that's permanent. We must move forward. We must go with the times. We must make our website better. And well, I could go on with this forever. You got me really wound up. We need a few things to make people take pride. Thank you.
While you're getting another question on the box, if we take a 30-minute intermission here for him, 30-second intermission. 30
Get our local government, our state government more involved. We've got to get our legislator more involved, our senators more involved. We've got to make them more responsible. A mayor of Hamilton hasn't got much authority, trust me, compared to a legislator or a senator. And we're going to have to hold those people responsible, just like you people are holding the mayor responsible. It's going to take a team effort, and we got to hold our county officials, our county commissioners. They control all the money in the county. We got to involve these people in getting industry in here. You know, like the Toyota plant. I'm extremely upset that we didn't get something off of it. I was promised something off of it. The power company told me more than likely we would get something. Jasper's got 2 Toyota plants. I'm not blaming anybody in this room. Why? But I intend to find out why, and we'll change that formula to make it work.
Francis Knight.
Ms. Knight?
This is something else that's very dear to me. We are working on getting jobs to Hamilton. I talked with Mike Milliken this morning at the nursing home. He is about as disillusioned as some people are. You know what the problem is? There are too many people in the world. Everybody needs jobs. It's not just Hamilton. We are blessed to have some existing industry here, and we need to take care of that existing industry. We work closely with NACOG, North Alabama League of Municipalities, that doing a great job. They have a grant writer. Grants are not as easy to come by as they used to be. And we deal with C3. I think that's totally in our favor. The C3 Alliance with David Thornell, he's working with us. every day. It is not that this city council or this mayor is sitting here. We're at work, and we continue to be at work.
Jane May.
Ms. May?
Well, you know, I'm not sure that what I would do exactly. I couldn't do anything by myself, but I tell you, our economy is not good. Having said that, a lot of plants aren't expanding and growing like they did once. But we do have an outstanding C3 recruiter. Mr. Thornell is very aggressive. He has sources. He knows people. He's busy all the time trying to bring industry to our town or to our three-county area. The other thing is retail. Hamilton can use a lot of retail businesses downtown, but right now they can't locate because we've got businesses that flood down there. Thanks to our revitalization in our present city council and our mayors and Bobby Holiday, they have the revitalization program going forward. And going forward, when that down there is corrected, all the lack of function and the flooding and the drainage problems and the sewer problems down there, that will make it easier for us to locate retail business down there because an investment in infrastructure and revitalization is also helps in economic growth.
Chris Hammer.
Cam? Thank you. Well, first of all, we have to bring jobs to Hamilton, like they say, it's very competitive. We have to be prepared and have some things here that people want to come to Hamilton for, like I've been stressing, like a new water park and some things for our families and kids, because when businesses come to look at Hamilton, they want to know what's here for their families, and right now there's nothing here for our kids and for our families, but which is what I'll address later on. But I would like to develop our interstate out here. We have 200 acres of land out there that's weeds right now that needs to be developed. If we had an industrial prospect right now, it just wouldn't be good to show. But I want to develop that and possibly get maybe a Cracker Barrel or maybe an outlet center like Boaz and Albertville used to have. They used to have buses that would come up there and bring people to shop. There's a ton of traffic on the interstate, and we need to be getting some of that tax money from them with some businesses, and we need to take care of our downtown area too. I'm not just discarding that out of the picture, but we can't just all look at in industry. We have to look at businesses, retail, whatever.
Mr. Franks?
I've still got mine written down, so I won't forget nothing. We got to work with the C3. We pay him $25,000 a year. And for manufacturing recruiting. And what Montgomery needs is to have him down there. Now 80% of all the jobs that are created are from existing manufacturing. That's 80%. So the plants that we have here now need to be talked to and see if they can get larger or be larger. Thank you, sir.
Jim Hall.
Mr. Hall?
I agree with Mike David on that. First of all, you got to recruit the industry you have here and keep them vital. We also got to remember that we did get an industry here locally up in Hackenberg that's going to help us. If Wrangler hadn't got to go back with all over the county, it would have been bad. But on the 2 terms that I served, I went with Mayor Sims and Mayor Logan. Mayor Logan, we went to try to keep around 200 jobs here. Those 200 jobs are here today. Like I said, we've got to keep what we've got and try to go out and recruit with the C3 and the mayor. The mayor can go to Montgomery, which I know all these people will, as a city council, support the mayor and work with the local county commission and our state leaders.
Okay, Gary Scott.
Mr. Scott?
There again, I think a lot of it goes back to the interstate access. It's just sitting there. all the traffic, everybody goes to the beach or whatever. When you go there, you stop, you fill up with gas, you buy something in the store. Where's all those dollars go? We could utilize everything we have out there. But the spec building is sitting, and it's nothing against nobody not doing their job, but somebody's got to get in there and get something started. I like to see these down here at the movie theater parking lot. The parking lots. I mean, my wife drove a car off in it a while ago, pretty much. So I'd like to see that repaid and fix up the downtown. I think if you get the interstate access, look at Fulton, Mississippi. I think if you get the interstate access, the businesses out there on the interstate, it brings the dollars to the city of Hamilton. You'll see in time, the money will start coming toward town. Thank you.
Steve Foley?
Mr. Foley? All the industries that they're talking about that are over in Mississippi, they didn't happen overnight. There's years of planning it took to get those industries there. The reason they're there because the towns, the cities where these industries are, they presented their availability of workers and what they have to these industries. That's what Hamilton's going to have to do. We have a lot to offer, but we've got to get it out there where these people know we are. And $25,000 a year is a lot cheaper than they paid that man from Mississippi $100,000 to bring it on the Alabama Industrial Park. Now, why would you pay somebody from Mississippi $100,000 to bring industry to Hamilton when it's all over there?
Amen. Wade Williams?
Mr. Williams? Thank you. I guess by the time it gets all the way down the line, we may repeat some of the things that you've already heard. But I promote Hamilton like you've never seen before. I think we have so much to take advantage of. I was on the city council in the early 90s. We built the Bedford Industrial Park. I remember that being started and completed. I was on the city council when 4 acres has water and sewer. In the Hamilton Industrial Park, now on I-22, I was there when we purchased the land. So I've always been a progressive leader for Hamilton. I think if we continue to work hard and promote, I'm willing to go to Montgomery every week. I don't care. I drive for a living over 1,000 miles a week. I drove 235,000 miles in 3 years doing my job as an independent insurance adjuster. So it's not a problem for me to go see anybody. I'm willing to go. I will go, and I'll do whatever it takes. If we all work together, we can make it happen. It's not something that we can do. It's what we can do together. Have no hidden agenda, no big ego, no power trip. This is all about us.
Bill Brown?
Mr. Brown?
There's so many different ways to bring industry into towns that have the property source and the labor force that Hamilton has. I had my last tenure with the state, I was inspector for the state and went to several towns, North Alabama, South Alabama, and it looks like that the people that have plants there, the compressor plant, come from not the satellite plant to those or their products that they carry out. And come to find out that if you go and look them in the eye and sit down there and tell them what you've got an interstate, you've got 4 exits, you've got X amount of labor. I think you could get some mighty good business in here.
Frank Calvin?
Mr. Calvin? Well, that's one of those questions that really has got like 3 answers to. Last week I was down in Ewan talking to Phil Seagraves, and we sat for a couple of hours and talked, and I asked him on this precise question, what do we need to do? And, Phil understands that, we are joined with Ewan, Winfield, at the Hill. They got rails, we got the college,
we got the people. And it's countywide, it's gonna take a countywide effort to get something in here. And on this C3 thing, I'm all for C3, but I think we should pay those guys, really not the C3, but the one before him, should have been on an incentive bonus. He should have got, like Nick Saban gets paid. He gets a certain pay. If he wins a national championship, he gets an incentive bonus. And, you know, but there's a lot of good ideas to get business in here. Exits is a big thing we got to show.
Mr. Stidham?
I think we'll have to work with this C3 director, and we have to get all these companies to come in. We've got on a short list for some of them, but they won't know what you'll offer, and then they'll run somewhere else and see what they'll give. So it's hard to get a lot of these jobs in here. You just have to probably be last on the list. You're better off if you give them a better offer than what somebody else does.
Thank you, Bentley. Mr. Bentley?
Thank you. Well, jobs are a result of business, and business can be broken down into several different categories, industry being one of them. So I say that we continue our efforts to get industry into the city, but also maximize, again, on the assets that we have. I did some research. Orange Beach, Alabama has about 7,000 citizens. Gulf Shores has about 9,000 citizens, and yet they've maximized on their tourism. We have over 25,000 people who come through the city of Hamilton and stay for 2 or 3 days. We need to focus on small businesses, on retail, on revitalization of the downtown, putting retail stores in there. Yes, I love what Ewan has done, I love what Winfield has done, and but there is a contribution that we can give to them to even draw some of the rest of the citizens of the county into Hamilton. I'm not trying to compete with them. If they have something that we can give to them, you know, I believe that they have something that they can give to us, being in tax and sales.
Brandon Carter. Mr. Carter?
Thank you. We must support our existing business, of course, and I think we've got to promote, advertise, and recruit business here, both locally, at a regional level with a C3, and also at the state level. In my current position in Montgomery, I have a lot of dealings with senators and representatives in the Montgomery area with a business that I currently oversee. And it's very important that you get on the good side with these senators and representatives if you want to bring industry to this area. And I think we've got to be in a financial position. Should any industry want to locate here, we've got to be in a financial position to offer them the best incentives to come here. Thank you.
Josh Weatherly. Mr. Weatherly?
I believe we've heard a lot of good ideas. I've heard some mention about the C3. I do agree with the C3. But I think, too, that as a city council and as a mayor, we need to take a more individualized approach, too. We need to pay some personal attention and personal visits to these folks, such as in the Tupelo plants. We need to, personally go down there and see what do we got to do to get you guys here. I also was recently looking at the town website, and I'm thinking to myself, if I'm a business, based on what I see on the website, do I really want to come here? There was nothing substantial on there. I mean, we need to put some things on there like top 10 reasons why we or businesses could come to our community. I think there's a lot of work to do here, because if you tell a business that, they're going to probably produce some research, and that's the first thing they're going to look at. They're going to think, well, this is kind of pitiful. So I think we need to do better marketing ourselves, and you do utilize C3, but also, like Mr. Harper said, hold the feet to the fire on the senators and congressmen.
Scotty Sanderson.
Mr. Sanderson? First thing we have to do is we have to realize who we're competing against for these jobs. They're not just Hackleburg, Ewan, Winfield, Fayette. We're competing against Chattanooga, Memphis, Knoxville. We're competing against a lot of larger cities. I mean, it's just not us small towns competing for these jobs. That's the reason you don't see them coming by every day.
The other thing we have to do is we got to reestablish ourselves in Montgomery. We've kind of gotten away from that. And we have a neighboring city that they have done a fantastic job of that. When you go to these state meetings, there's local mayors that have really established themselves in Montgomery. We've got to do that again. We also have to use connections in Montgomery. I have some of those connections and I will use those to the best of my ability. We've got to work with C3, but we also, as a city, we can't really just depend on C3 for it, pay them and sit back. We can't do that. We have to push as a city on our own to bring the jobs to Hamilton and not some other place down the road. We got to be realistic in it also. The 300, 400 job plants are not going to come by every day. It's just not going to happen. We got to realize we're competing for 50, 75, 100, 150 jobs. We got to be more realistic on that, but push for the larger manufacturers also.
Last question.
Last question. Some great answers. Building on that last question, this question, how do you feel about the regional approach to industrial development? How do you feel about the regional approach to industrial development?
Jane May?
Ms. May?
Well, I really think that the regional approach to economic or industrial development is about the only way to bring big industry into our community. Like I said before, Mr. Thornell is very aggressive, an outstanding man in that position. He knows people, he knows where to go to ask questions, to seek out industry wherever it is, in another country or in this area or across the United States somewhere. I truly believe that at some point in time, there will be something that we can locate in our area. And, you know, I've heard he's like a bulldog with the bone. When he finds something, he wants to get it here. So I am all for regional industrial development.
Thank you, Scott.
Mr. Scott?
Yeah and no, but I'm for it, but in a way, we are paying $25,000, and what do we have to show for it right now? That's kind of the way I look at it. I think a good idea might be to form a non-profit organization, some members of Hamilton, and let them, like a job, a job search. Let them go out and recruit business to Hamilton. And I'm talking, it's non-profits. You don't have to pay them. A lot of these people probably retired, would be really interested in trying to see their city grow. Yeah, I mean, it's probably a good idea to see through, but I just don't see anything to show me right now. So that's my answer.
Mr. Brown?
I don't really understand what we're trying to do here, but I do know that regional approach to industrial development is a strange, to me, it's a strange way to go. I think if you've got a position like open like C3, which is probably mentioned the salary of $100,000 a year. I think if we got something like that, then we really need to push that, put that, under the company behind it, and surrounding area, this skin. Let them get out there and work. I don't think it's going to really come to us. I think we need to go ahead. I do want to stimulate the growth and help stimulate like to see it, like to see more people in that work instead of 10 people out there. That's not the way to put it out there. Florence, everywhere, except that one. This contractor here that's handling anything you need.
Mr. Kinder? I do support the regional approach because here's the thing. If another town in that region does land a company, they may be able to get a spin-off company of that and bring jobs here. I think not only do you got to promote it regionally like I previously discussed, you got to promote this town and try to recruit locally, regionally, and at the statewide level. We must have people also, I think, on these different industrial recruitment boards and so forth that really have the best interest of our citizens at heart. Thank you.
Mr. Harper?
I will support this. I have never met Mr. Thornhill. I'm looking forward to sitting down with him, sharing some ideas with him that I have and hearing his. So far, you know, I come back to Jasper and the Toyota plants. We got two over there, one making headliners and one making door panels. I intend to find out why that went over there. And I would like Mr. Thornhill to tell me that. There's a reason that we're surrounded with prosperity. Tupelo, Florence, Jasper, Tuscaloosa, the dirt off the street give you a job. We're surrounded with prosperity, but something is wrong. I don't know what it is, but I intend to find out. Thank you.
Wayne Williams.
Mr. Williams?
Thank you. Yes, I'm in support very much of a regional opportunity for our kids and grandkids. When you have three counties like Marion County, Fayette, Lamar, if we can come together with one common goal, just to create jobs for our kids and grandkids, it doesn't matter to me if it's in Fayette, or it doesn't matter to me if it's in Lamar County. If it's going to help our people, I drive every week almost to Arkansas and go right by the Toyota plant. And I happen to know several people in Hamilton that works at Toyota and comes back here. We're benefiting from that already. So if we can't get it in Hamilton, it's okay if it goes a few miles down the road. It doesn't take 30 minutes. People don't mind driving anymore. If you got a good paying job, they don't mind driving 30, 40 miles or even 50 miles. My number one job as a mayor, of course, is to look out for our town, our people, our kids and grandkids. But outside of that, if we can be a part of a regional effort to bring jobs, I'm all for it.
Senator Bentley.
Mr. Bentley?
Thank you. Yes, I am in support of the regional approach to industrial development. I believe, like Brandon said and Ms. May, there are a lot of spin-offs that can solely benefit the city of Hamilton, even though an industry may go to another city. So yes, I am in full effort. Absolutely. Yes, I do agree.
Mr. Hammer?
Yes, I do support the C3 regional approach because major companies expect it. They expected the Toyota plant in Tupelo, that was a 3-county effort. The Muscle Shoals area and Florence, they decided 12 years ago, instead of competing with one another, get our heads together, and they have done tremendous amount of success up there because they work together. We need to hold our people accountable that we're working with on it, and we need, at the same time, locally, get out ourselves and talk to businesses or on industrial recruiting trips or what have you. If we have a lead or whatever, get the leads. But we can't sit in Hamilton and wait for it to come. We have to get out and find it and get leads. And we have to be prepared first, have our city looking good, our industrial park looking good, our website good, because the first thing they're going to do is look at your website. If it's not good, that's it. You can walk out. They won't talk to you. If I'm elected mayor, I'll do these things.
Mr. Franks?
I believe that our regional approach is our only option. Montgomery only wants to talk to one person. They don't want everybody in the world coming down there and trying to get jobs. And companies are the same way. They want to keep things quiet. They only want to talk to one person that is know what we want, and if we can do that, we'll be in a lot better shape. And they don't need somebody out here blabbing about they're going to come to this town. They don't want everybody to know that, because if they pick out a place, the land prices are going to go sky high. So we don't want everybody in the world down there at Montgomery or talking to all these companies that don't need to be.
Frank Calvin.
Mr. Calvin?
This is the last question. Will there be any more questions or anything said after this? I was a little nervous when I first started. I want to answer that question, but I got to say this: it's been killing me ever since. I got tongue tied. The camera, But anyway, I worked for the biggest home builder in Fleetwood Homes for many, many years, and the only thing I done was lawsuit houses. They sent me out to work out lawsuits. I never lost not one lawsuit house. But I do support, getting past that, I do support this. We got to go down this road. But it's like Mr. Field down in Gewin, Seagrace told me here the other day, you got a vision where, Samuel said something a while ago, you got to have a clear vision. You got a vision, where do we want to be in 10 years? And the gentleman down here, Josh Weatherly, what he said about our website, it starts right there, and it's a must. We got to do it, but we got to figure out where we want to be, what our goal is in the next 10 years from now, not just the next 2 years or 4 years, but that's it. That's all.
Mr. Sanders?
People said it would never happen. No one ever thought that Hamilton and Winfield could work together. Approximately 5 or 7 years ago, Gewin tried to land a MagnaStire plant in Gewin. Everyone in this region came together and worked for that, including Hamilton and Winfield. It can work. We all pooled money together. It was from as far away, I can't remember, as far away as Coleman. We all pooled money together. The C3 for large industries is especially good. It gives us a voice there trying to land these large industries. It would benefit the whole area. The whole area would benefit from a large industry if it went here or fed. People, like someone said down here, they'll drive that far for a good paying job. But the smaller jobs, no, those need to come to Hamilton.
Steve Foley.
Mr. Foley?
Mr. Thornell, I wasn't criticizing you on that last question. I think anytime you get a 75% discount, that's pretty good. But for industrial development, I had an opportunity to teach at a factory in Marion County several years ago through the Alabama Industrial Development Board. And the only reason that factory was there, because it took the hard work of one individual to start with. Somebody that knows what they're doing, and that's what it takes for industrial to come to your area. You got to have somebody working on it. A bunch of people together that don't know what they're doing, it's not going to do you any good. So we need C3, and we need C3 real bad, because that's in our area, they're working for us. And as far as the website on TV, on the internet about Hamilton, the most that's on there is about notable citizens. I'm looking at a room full of notable citizens, and I don't see none of those on the website. So I think we need to do a little work right there. Thank you.
Paul Stidham.
Mr. Stidham?
Yes, I'm for the regional approach. Anytime that you work together and 3 counties working together and all the cities working together, you're going to do something. If you don't do it, well, it's just out. We don't gain anything.
Jim Hawker.
Mr. Hawk?
Yes, I'm for working regionally with other counties and cities. I remember telling Mayor Sims when I first got elected in '92, I felt like if Tupelo could land something, it'd be better for us than maybe Florence. So Tupelo has done their job, and now we need we need to try to get something in here, a little spin-off from that if it's not too late. The ADO office, I think the Governor Bentley has changed the name of it now, but they'll tell you that they'd rather have the regional approach than every little town coming in and out and trying to pull the rug out from under somebody else. They'd rather have the regional approach, people working together. And I counted up today at the count, out of 95 jobs that I counted, 58 out of that 95 is from outside the city of Hamilton, Killen, Alabama, Amory, Mississippi, Jasper, Nauvoo, Haleville, all around. So if you've got good jobs, they'll come, drive in here, same, if our people, if some plant, city around here close, gets a good job, we can drive to that city also.
Francis Knight.
Ms. Knight?
I do support the regional approach. Yes, I want jobs for Hamilton. You know, ever since we've lived in Hamilton, since 1972, it's been taught that our children, our grandchildren, whoever, they're having to move away because the jobs are not here. I understand that completely. You have to work with what you've got. I don't expect us to be like a big city, but I expect us to grow. But let me tell you, we're already working the Chamber of Commerce, and we're working together, the industrial board, and there are so many things that are going on. I'm telling you, my opinion, Hamilton's about to burst wide open. And about the website, that is being worked on as we speak by the guy that comes to the city hall and works on it. So, that being said, with the revitalization going up, we're going to put all these other cities to shame. Watch it. Okay.
Josh.
Mr. Weatherly?
I'm definitely in favor of the C3, but also I'm kind of a proactive guy. I think that, you know, if we just sit back and wait for something to happen, it's probably not going to happen. So I'd like to see us get a little more aggressive, whether it means hold the C3 guy more accountable, I don't know. But I'm kind of like Van said, I haven't seen much come to the area, so I'm expecting a little more from him. If not, then maybe we need to get after it a little bit.
Every candidate had a shot at the regional approach. Great, great. Let's give all the candidates a big round of applause. I would say that this is in fact a remarkable democracy that we have. And I would say that these men and women being willing to step up tonight, put themselves in front of a crowd like this is remarkable, and I certainly appreciate each of their commitments to our community. Thanks to each of you for coming out tonight to be more informed on the issues. I'd like to ask the candidates to stick around for a group photo afterwards, and we'll gather together for that. With that having been said, thanks again for your participation here tonight. You're dismissed.